can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. All right, today's video, I'm going to be talking about Adventures of Superman Jon Kent, number 3 by Tom Taylor and Clayton Henry. In the previous issue, when we talked about this, we saw that the Ultraman of the Crime Syndicate universe had been killed by the Injustice version of Superman, who had saved Jon Kent from getting his cheeks turned inside out by one of the DC Comics universe's most evil Supermen. As it turns out, Jon is in the Injustice universe, and while it turns out that the Superman of this universe didn't need to be saved from Ultraman, it actually seems like Jon is setting himself up for what is about to be one of the most heartbreaking reunions that he ever could have possibly have had. As we talked about in the previous issue, the importance of Jon Kent meeting the Injustice version of Superman, meeting a version of Superman who never got to meet his own son. We learn a lot of interesting things here in this issue regarding that. The fact that he would have named his son Jon if Lois would not have died when she did at the beginning of the entire Injustice story arc. Everything about Jon is just wish fulfillment for the Injustice Superman, because it's everything that was taken away from him that he never got to experience for himself. He's never gotten to experience having a child of his own. He was robbed of that. And you can even see it now that he's safeguarding Jon, trying to keep him away from everything in the Injustice universe because he doesn't want to spoil the second chance that he knows he has, that he really never even conceived would have ever happened. And while I think a lot of us who are more familiar with the Injustice video game series as well as the Injustice comic book series, I think we all pretty much knew where this was going to go. I think we all were just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like watching a movie where you know who the killer is, but the protagonist of the story don't know who the killer is. It's one of those scenarios where we're just waiting for Jon to finally see what we all see. And I think that's what is the most heartbreaking about this issue, is that when we finally see Jon going out into the world, looking at the Injustice universe for himself, and him recognizing that this is an objectively better world. It's cleaner, it's safer, it's not as noisy. He even makes a comment about how when he's in his universe, he normally has to put up blocks to keep him from hearing everything that's going on in the world. But here in this universe, he doesn't have to. It's ridiculously quiet here. And just when he's finally starting to accept this world just might be a better place than his own, this is when reality is shattered for him. Because when a woman's child falls out of a window, which by the way, I still question what the heck was going on, this woman's child just fell out of an apartment building window. That's a whole other story altogether. But Jon is there to save the child, and the mother of said child is freaking out because, well, for one, her child literally almost died. But that's not exactly why she's scared. I mean, yeah, sure, she's scared because she almost lost her kid, but the reason that she's fearing for her own life is because she sees Superman. Now, no, she doesn't see the Injustice Superman. She sees Jon Kent, and not even so much Jon Kent, because as Jon points out, she's not looking at him. She's looking at the S on his chest, what should be a symbol of hope for all mankind. This woman sees it and is terrified. And that's because the Injustice version of Superman is a bit of a totalitarian. He is a dictator. It almost reminds me of what we saw in the John Ridley Black Panther run, where the Wakandan terrorist gave the entire world a message: live in peace or else. That's the option that Superman gives everyone, and it's not much of an option. Basically, you fly right, you do right, and you get to live. That is pretty much the mantra of this entire universe, and Jon is starting to see it. Jon is starting to recognize that the Injustice universe is not the free paradise that his multiversal father has made it out to be. And what I find really interesting here is that we also see characters like Wonder Woman who are trying to warn Injustice Superman not to let Jon get close, because she recognizes that Jon's gonna see all this and he's not gonna understand, that he's not going to see what they are sacrificing to build a better world. He's just gonna see what they're doing as wrong, and he would be right. What they are doing is objectively wrong. It is objectively evil. They think that they're doing the most good, but in reality, they're just forcing people to be good, but not good because they want to be, but good because they know what the consequences would be should they not. This is pretty much what I think everyone was waiting for the moment that it was announced that Injustice Superman was going to be meeting Jon Kent. I know that's what it was for me. And I also thought it was interesting the interaction between the Injustice version of Damian Wayne and Jon Kent, which it went about roughly the way I kind of expected it to. I felt like, this version of Damian's not going to have any connection to a Jon Kent, because in this universe, Jon Kent was never born. So Damian didn't have to get to know Superman's kid. He never had one. Whereas in Jon's universe, he and Damian know each other, and that if Damian was in these kinds of dire straits as the Injustice Universe's version is, Jon probably would be able to talk Damian down, or at the very least get Damian to hear him out. But this is a version of Damian who has Quotey Fingers accidentally killed Nightwing and is also using the experimental drug from the Injustice universe known as 5U93R. It's a pill that basically gives you the power of a Kryptonian. In the end, I think it's safe to say that Jon is going to wind up seeking out the Batman of the Injustice universe, but I also feel like that interaction isn't going to go exactly the way that Jon is probably hoping that it would go, that, oh, well, if this version of Superman is a whole problem, maybe the Batman of this universe is going to be better. But I feel like he's going to learn that the Batman of that universe also kind of has his own set of issues that he's dealing with as well. So I feel like at some point, while the cover of this issue kind of gives you the impression that Jon Kent's going to be doing his best impersonation of Michael Jackson from Beat It, I don't believe that Batman and Superman are going to be dancing in the streets with Jon Kent by the time this is all over. But who knows? Maybe that's exactly what it is that Tom Taylor is going for. Maybe what Tom Taylor is trying to do is make Jon Kent the one person, the bridge that could be built between Batman and Superman to show them that even in their universe where everything has gone from sugar to shit, that maybe things could actually be better. Maybe what this universe needs is an injection of the idealism that the Superman of this universe used to have before his wife and unborn child were taken from him.
Cause you gonna like Jon Kent whether you like it or not.
But anyways, that's really everything I wanted to talk about here with Adventures of Superman Jon Kent. This issue was pretty fun. It definitely delivered on the things I was expecting. There wasn't really anything here that I was surprised by or anything of that matter, but it was definitely a fun read, and I can't wait to see what Jon is gonna do when he meets the Batman of the Injustice universe. It's crazy because it's one of the things I just never thought I'd ever see. Jon Kent in the Injustice universe. How wild is that? If you enjoyed this video, do the YouTube thing, like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure to tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I put out. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, let me know what you thought about Adventures of Superman Jon Kent #3. Keep it plus ultra and sound off in the comments.